Hey, good morning and welcome back. I'm still working on my little system of vintage machines, getting them to work together in harmony. Now, the last video I was using, I believe, the microscope on the Jigborer. Well, I'm moving over to the milling machine, and I want to try that fine adjustable Criterion boring head on the milling machine here. And generally what I do, since I'm going to do some boring, is I put the V block here in a work head so I can sharpen my boring bars. Let's loosen this a little bit. So I can easily set the angles here. There's a boring bar in there. See? Make all the adjustments necessary. And when they get dull, this one here's got a little nick on the edge here. When they get dull, I just grind them back and then hand do that little tiny radius. Now, I can do those tiny radiuses because the machines generally have fine feed, with exception of that axle set. If you go back a few videos, I found that it needs a nose radius of 3/64ths of an inch because the feed is about 6 times that of the Monarch 10EE and the Moore Jigborer. So I'm going to do this boring with this vertical head, and it's a hand feed with a fine screw. Okay, now hopefully you can hear me pretty good. This camera here is the newest one. It's got a good microphone. My voice is always going to be terrible. I don't think I can recover it. And over here, now I'm going to try this. This is like opposite of vlogging. Here's a microphone, a Rode microphone, kindly donated. And with other donations, I was able to outfit this thing so it'll plug in this microphone. And that's kind of harder to do than you would think. But these little cameras are designed to go underwater. And so once you do this thing's not waterproof, but it doesn't matter. So I got this the opposite of what they call vlogging. If you're vlogging, then you have this thing spun around. I think you have to remove it and turn it around. I'll leave it alone. So you have it this way with the camera facing it like that, and you talk your head off. So instead of that, it's facing the work. I will be back here, talking into that, and hopefully keeping stuff in the frame. You can understand what I'm doing. And I am using the Remarkable for a tripod. This works really quite well. This is a Noga big boy, right? So this thing can zoom in and out pretty good. So that's what I got. I got that on a swivel here. And this is actually a pretty good indicator stand too. Well, I was going to say, this one, I found the best deal online. It was from Walmart, but that's not always the case. I got this for under $200 during the COVID thing. And now I don't think you can do that now. But this thing was so stiff. It was really hard to move. Now it's getting quite a bit better. What I had to do is knock it on the floor about 5 times. It's loosened up. Okay, I'm going to switch that other camera. Okay, on the handheld camera again. Now, what happened when I tightened the lever here? Well, it works on the gib. Here's the gib here, and that's the adjuster for it. So this is just a screw into that wedge-shaped gib. Now, over here on the Jigborer, it doesn't have that kind of a system, and what's on the y-axis is hidden, but it's like this. This is the lock for the x-axis, and what you really can't see here is this here is a strip of steel that's screwed on. And this just acts like a clamp on this strip of steel. It goes behind it. Here's a little space back there. And this is like a floating brake shoe. Oh, that came right off. Hold on. That was unscrewing and I didn't notice. Isn't that something that come off when I was videoing it? I won't edit that out because this is a reality channel, right? So when you tighten and loosen this, this is like, it's not like the gib. And where's the gibs on the X? Well, they're hidden under these guards here, but they adjust the same. This is a dovetail on the top of this older style. So that's how this non-influencing table locks. So back here, the table locks are influencing because they push on the gib, displacing the entire table. See that? Loose and tighten. So I'll go ahead and just kind of snug that up right about there, and I'll readjust it and get it on 0. And when this thing is just a little bit snugger, hopefully it won't move more than a tenth or two. That's just one of the reasons that a regular milling machine is not as accurate on locating the holes, okay? But it's better for milling. Back with more. Well, it lit up and the counter is working. And I'm talking into that microphone. Oh boy. As best I can. Okay, here's what I got going here. I got the that piece of aluminum, that same piece, and I'm clamping it to the table, which is really the only option on this machine. And this is a problem with a lot of horizontal mills with vertical attachments. This one rides a little bit lower because of the quill and the way it's driven, and it slides. But the knee is all the way down, and you can see that the collet chuck height here, I got 2 collet chucks, is just about as high as this or even lower. So I can't do a lot in the vise using the vertical head. And that's actually not a bad deal because it's not good to do things in the vise very much. So I got this indicated in, okay? It's indicated in. And, but there's a lot of things you can take for granted on the Jigborer that it's not so with standard machines. And let's have a look back here. Now I'm going to have to be able to gauge that with the dial bore gauge. I'm going to have to move the table. So I got this set on 0, and I'm going to go ahead and lock the saddle lock. You see that? It went 1/1000 and 2/10. And I should probably adjust the gib a little bit, but what I'll do for now is go ahead and back this off and just kind of pull it a little bit snug. Then I'll come back around here, and sometimes it doesn't have much effect here, sometimes it does. So I'm going to rotate it this way. Yeah, it did. See, it kicked it more than 1/1000 out. So I'm going to readjust the table with the lock just a little bit tighter and just jockey it around a little bit and get that a little bit more accurate. Okay, I will be back. Alrighty, got the boring head installed there, just like the jig borer. And I'm going to bring a square and square it to the column of this machine. And I checked this machine out, and it is square within itself to a great degree. Okay, that looks very square. So I've got that little dot down here. See if you can see that from the top. Okay, the point looks right on the dot. Back it up a little bit. Looks just about slightly over center, like I set it in the jig borer. I haven't moved the bar out of the head, but I'll have to eventually and sharpen it. It's still pretty sharp. Okay, I'm going to rotate it on back here, and I'll get another camera angle and bore some holes. Take a cleanup cut on this. I'll get some wax lube in there so don't get any chip weld. Okay. And on with the show here. Looks like I'm in gear. Okay. 980 RPM. It's looking pretty good. This machine is pretty loud. I'll see if you can hear me speak. Almost to the bottom there. Okay, that's it. Without much room to spare. All right. Okay, gotta slip this between gears here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2/1000ths, and I think the tool's still sharp enough to do it. We'll see. Okay. And I'm using the regular dial here. At 2.5 would be all right too. Okay. A little more wax in the hole there. Okay, now this is the first part of a two-step finish. And so I'm going to cut this, and then I'm going to measure it with a dial bore gauge and shoot for a size. Okay? And here we go. Oh, I put it in low, I did. Here we go. I'm slowly hand feeding this. The quill only has 2 inches of travel, but it's sure nice to have it. Okay, I'll get the dial bore gauge. There we are. You can see that. Okay, I got that standard dial bore gauge in there. And that's 0 at that point right there. And what I want to do is dial in 2/1000ths on this upper dial, and it should be right at the 2. It should go right to there if I dial in 2 there. Now right off, I noticed that the finish is not as good by just sliding the dial bore gauge in there. It looks nice and shiny, but it feels a little rougher. So I can move that a little bit and kind of burnish it in, and it'll start reading a 1/10 over, see? Yeah, not so much. But it's a little bit rougher. Yes, it's just slightly over 0. Each one of those little marks is 0.10000ths of an inch, or 100 millionths. Okay, so I'm going to adjust the collar. We'll make a cut and try to get to there, okay? I could do it with easy plus or minus 0.10000ths. Which is pretty good for that head, I believe. So to adjust this head, let's get it out of gear. Reach here. There we go. And I have to loosen a little set screw. That's right here. Okay. And here's the mark right here. It's right above the regular mark. And I'm going to move it to 20. Right there, it's good enough. Lock it, and that should advance the tool 1/1000th of an inch. Or okay. That's direct reading off of the let's see if I can get this back without crashing into something. Right about in there somewhere. Okay, now I gotta be careful how I lock it. Yeah, that's, I believe, looking very good. Oh, I'm not doing it correctly. Let me be sure and do it correctly. Get this in the right spot and I can move it. I was looking at it wrong because it's advanced. Kind of hard to get this in between gears. See how far I was off? Back we go. And there's my mark. Okay, that looks good. We're going to get a little bit of wax in there. And we'll see what the results are, good or bad. I'm not expecting any miracles. Okay, that should be okay. Here we go. Oh, yeah, yeah, no. Okay, I'm going to feed it in pretty fine. But the spindle bearings aren't near the precision as they are in the Jigborer. These are Timken bearings and the Jigborer has ball bearings. It's making a chip, so we shall see. I might be going a little fast on the feed. It's hand feed on this head. Getting close to the bottom. Okay. Well, I'm a little bit anxious on how this is. Let me get it out of gear. Sometimes it's easier to just walk around this thing. Okay. Good there, and I'll back it up. Yeah, that's plenty of clearance for the gauge. I got the gauge sitting up here on the shelf where it won't get knocked over. Let me get that a little bit more. Okay, where's it gonna go? Oh. it cut a full thousandth over. It was supposed to end up here, but it ended up cutting a thousandth more. I'll try this again or two, but I think the results are going to be the same. I think I'd be better off just using the plain dial on this machine and not worry too much about the dial bore gauges on this. You know, it's right at, it cut exactly a thousandth over. I'm going to probably sharpen the tool and try it a couple more times here, just to be sure. Okay, I hope you're all having a good day, and this is a good test for this microphone setup. It's like talking to a gray fuzzy creature back here. Okay, I will be back. Thanks for tuning in.